מזמור לדוד. אדוני רואי לא אכזב, בינת דשא ירבצני, עמי מנוחות ינחלני. נפשי ישובב, ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו. גמה כי ילך בגלת מוות, לא ירא רע כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפני שולחן, נגד צורריי. דשנת בשם ראשי כסירביה, אך טוב החסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. Birth is a beginning, and death a destination, and life is a journey, from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength or strength to weakness and often back again, from health to sickness and back we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and from grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until, looking backward or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey, stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning, and death a destination, and life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage to life everlasting. Adonai Natan, Adonai Lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai Mevarach. Adonai has given, Adonai has taken away. Blessed be the name of Adonai. Today, we mourn the loss of Marilyn Newman, beloved wife of Neil, mother of Rana and Mark, Carrie and Ellison, and David and Pat, sister of Herb and Lori, and the late Marjorie, stepmother of Cindy and Mark, Andrew and Veronica, and Lori, and devoted grandmother to Jeremy, Lauren, Corey, Jonathan, Ashley, Benjamin, Daniel, Jessica, Curtis, Jennifer, Darnell, Samuel, Leah, Daniel, Michael, and Max, and great-grandmother to 11. There was a reason why Marilyn had such a large family. She was the ultimate caregiver. She was the role model, the essence of family. Born on December 9th, 1929, almost exactly 87 years ago, Marilyn, her brother Herb, and their sister Marjorie lived with their parents in what was considered an impoverished neighborhood. Although she had very few possessions, Marilyn had wealth which most would envy. She had more friends than anyone could imagine. And she was not only physically beautiful, she had an infectious smile and could make anyone she was with feel comfortable and important. She adored her friends, but she truly adored her family. As a child, she doted on her family, and as her brother Herb would say, she took her baby brother wherever she went. And that love of family only seemed to blossom when she had a family of her own. She was married to Albert Hodes for 40 years and had 3 wonderful children. Carrie said she was the best mother anyone could ever have. Her personality and charm just drew you in. As a member of the Riviera Swim Club, she would take her children to swim and then make friends with everyone there. She also loved to golf, playing at Lander Haven and Pine Ridge and Oakwood, and I was told she even got a hole-in-one. But her family was everything to her. And it was in the 24 years married to Neil that she found true happiness. They traveled the world together, took cruises around Europe, and learned how to ski in Aspen. She even vacationed with her ex-husband's wife. And as her family grew exponentially, she made certain to love and to welcome everyone who became part of the family. Her life revolved around her family. Not a day would go by without talking to one of the kids or the grandkids. She would plan lunches with grandchildren and would spend as much time as they would allow, Jen said. And she would seem to know at least 3 people in the restaurant. She was always the social butterfly. She made it a point to have one-on-one dates with her grandchildren, taking them to lunch, going to bookstores, where she would buy them as many books as they wanted because she was an avid reader, and driving to Toronto to see Rana's kids. She would do anything for her family. David said it was in her DNA. Marilyn taught the family how to be a family, how to care for each other, to know what was truly important. Even as her mother was afflicted with Alzheimer's, she taught her brother Herb how to be supportive and how to make those weekly phone calls. And it was Marilyn who, when she had the condo in Florida, would encourage everyone to vacation there, to fill her home, even if she wasn't home. She was the family communicator, teaching how to love and to be loved. Yet knowing that Alzheimer's took her mother and her sister, Marilyn was petrified it would take her too. Neil made sure that she would never have to live in a nursing home, that she would always have him by her side. He made it possible for her to live these last 3 years at home with the love and the support that her family could now give back to her. And now I'd like to call upon a few family members who would like to honor Marilyn, beginning with her brother Herb.
My sister Marilyn never referred to me as Herb, Herbie, or anything like that. She would call me brother, or she would call me her little brother or her kid brother. And she took me when I was the littlest kid. She would just take me everywhere. I'm sorry, I'll start over. No, she would take me everywhere she went, and we had some wonderful times together. She had a personality that was very, very unusual, because when we lived in the Woodhill projects, which was, government subsidized housing, her friends would come from all the way from the Glenville area just to see Marilyn. And Marilyn was just one of those rare people that the cantor has always expressed everything I could say about my sister. she would call me on the phone and she would call me brother. She would rarely call me Herb or Herbie in those on those daily phone calls. And we would talk about the things of the day and what's going on with our lives. And the next day, our receptionist would say, Herb, it's your sister. And I would say, oh, okay. And we would spend a lot of time talking to each other. And we always did. And it's a good feeling now that she's gone, because she went through so much these last 3 years. But before that, she was great. She had a great life with Neil, and Neil was lucky to have her. And I'm lucky that I had a sister like Marilyn. Thanks.
And now I'd like to ask her granddaughter, Jen, to come forward.
Keep that microphone high. We were joking because my Nana's so talkative and so social, and her grandkids did not quite get that, so I wrote it all down. So the things that people loved about Nana's kids, including my dad, David, is how loving they are, how generous they are, their energy, their desire to be surrounded by loved ones, their sense of humor, their capacity for love, and how they show love. Those qualities aren't uniquely theirs, they're for sure Nana's. So sometimes her love could feel suffocating, and I think that's just because most of us couldn't really comprehend the type of all-consuming, unconditional love that she had. She lived for her kids, she lived for her grandkids and great-grandkids. One common memory that we were talking about this week is my Nana's cookies. She did so much for us, and she always made us cookies. So, and Daniel and Jesse can attest, as we all moved away, she would always send us care packages of cookies, always. Always fresh baked, always broken to pieces, because she didn't quite know how to pack them. So obviously we've been talking a lot this week, and my sister mentioned that my Nana even sent her cookies to Uganda when she lived there. So my Nana thought that my sister should have cookies. And know she was thinking of her all the way in Africa. We laughed, inevitably because those cookies arrived in dust. They were 100% broken and inedible. But that was the type of idea that my Nana always had, to go above and beyond for her kids. She didn't think it was too much to ship cookies around the world if it meant Jessie knew she loved her and she was thinking of her, and the same thing with all of us. She'd always want as much time as we would give her. She would soak it up. Sometimes we would go to the pool and hide from her at the pool, because we knew if she knew we were at the pool, she would be there in 2 seconds, and she would not leave until we left. But all these little Nana things is what is leaving us this week, as my sister put it so nicely in a post with a Nana-sized hole in our family. Okay, we're all gonna miss her so much, but luckily she spent her whole life making these memories for us, so that we wouldn't ever have to forget her and be alone. Sorry that I almost got through it. That's it.
David?
I didn't dare try to ad-lib this, so. Thanks for coming. I'm glad you all came, and I wrote down, I'm just going to try to read this. At many ages in my mom's past, she would have filled this place, she and my dad. She had so many friends, and so many people knew and loved her, and living to 87, Many of them are gone, but I'm sure not forgotten. Mom had many great friends over the years, best friends. Through her early years into her early marriage, she had great friends from Riviera, from Mill Creek, from Renford, and then to Oakwood and Neil's family. She truly was well loved. Actually, love is how I'll remember her. The quality she emanated the most. This was her predominant DNA gene. As a daughter to her grandmother, to my grandmother, a sister to Uncle Herbie and Aunt Marge, a mom to me, Carrie and Rana, a grandma to all of her grandkids, and eventually great-grandkids. When she started having grandkids, she was the happiest. She truly was an outstanding Nana. Weekly dates with all of them, although always with treasures that she would leave them. My sister's kids were the first. When Rana moved to Toronto, my mom's heart broke. I could remember so many trips to Toronto to see her Jeremy and Lauren and eventually Jonathan. She would grab my kids when they were old enough and pack them up with her and drive to Toronto, drive for the drive. Toronto to Cleveland was a regular thoroughfare. Her kids here and our kids there. Grandkids and her grandchildren filled her life. And as they grew, she wouldn't miss a thing, even the smallest things at their schools, then on to their graduations and weddings, and even births of her great-grandchildren. Another small note, she was also incredibly generous. She would look to find needs and filled them. She helped all of us buy our first houses, and in my case, even remodeled it before we moved in. A deposit wasn't enough. She always gave, and my dad never stopped her. It was her joy, and she taught us that same quality. She is where we learned it from, if you're wondering, kids. This was her way, and now it's ours. Love was her profound driving force. She showed all of us I probably should have rewrote this. And now a hole in our hearts will never be filled. As a parent, and now a grandparent of 3, I hope to teach my kids and grandkids the same quality. Family, extended family, and friends. Excuse me. A couple quick notes. To my brother Kerry, I want to thank you for coming back to Cleveland. The last 3 years would not have been, I should stick to the words, I couldn't have done these years without you. I love you. To Ellison, we are so glad you are a part of our family now. Your class and love have not gone unnoticed, and we truly are grateful for you. To Pat, you loved my mom from day one and truly saw her as she is, and I'm glad you got to know her so well. She loved you. To Ava, you loved my mom so well. You were her great friend and support. You listened when she needed you. You also knew her and loved her and were loved by her. We needed you here in the last few years. To Neil, what can I say? I can't see. You gave her a great 25 years. Travel all over the world. You loved her like a man should love her, and she deserved that. You and her were very happy. You gave her a condo in Florida, which she so loved to share with us and all of her kids. We went there every year, hung out with you. It was just wonderful. You gave her the ability to be sick with great care, surrounding her. Kathleen and others are here that were her caregivers. To die with dignity in her old age. Thank you very much, Neil. We love you. Now to all of those with moms like her, whether here or gone, let's always remember and teach their ways so they will always live on in our hearts. Mom, we love you and won't forget you.
Grief is like the ocean. It comes on waves ebbing and flowing. Sometimes the water is calm, and sometimes it is overwhelming. All we can do is learn to swim. Rest in peace, beloved Marilyn. You have taught your family, your friends, and all who knew you how to love. May your memory forever be a blessing. Let's say amen. I would like to share the words of Hannah Senish. O God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand in the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. Eli, Eli, shelo yigamer leolam, hachul v'hayam, rishru shel hamayim, barak hashamayim, tfilat adam, hachul v'hayam, rishru shel hamayim, barak hashamayim, tfilat adam. Let us recite the words of the 23rd Psalm together. Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want. God makes me lie down in green pastures, leads me beside still waters, and restores my soul. You lead me in right paths for the sake of your name. Even when I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You have set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. A mother of generations, a woman of valor. She is precious in the gifts that she has given our family. Her children have found trust and truth in these gifts. We follow in patterns that she taught. She is robed in strength and dignity, and she smiles at the future. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. We benefit and learn from her wisdom. May she always be credited for the fruit of her labor and her achievements. May she live on in glory. Please rise for the memorial prayer. El melech rachamim, shachena b'maromim, hamatzei menucha nechana, tachat kanfei hashchina, im kedoshim utorim, kezoher harakim atzirim, et nishmat Chava bat Avraham ve'Elenor, shehalacha le'olama, bal harachamim yasirech, beseter kanafav le'olamim, yitzro chachayim et nishmata, Adonai hu nechalata, v'tanuach b'shalom al mishkava, V'nomar Amen. God of abundant mercy, God most high, may the soul of our beloved Marilyn, who has gone into eternity, find the gift of perfect peace in your embrace, with the holy and pure, whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold her close to you forever, so that her soul may be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May she find a home with you and may she rest in peace. Together we say, Amen. Please be seated. Interment will take place at Mayfield Cemetery immediately following the service. Shiva will take place at the home of Ellison, Joseph, and Carrie Hodis, 25896 Fairmount Boulevard, Beechwood, Ohio, until 9 p.m. this evening. Friends who wish to make a contribution may contribute to the Michael J. Fox Foundation.